Hello, my name is Sarah Woolley. This is my audience. We got tons of people on the video there. Cass here. All right. That needs to stay there. Okay. Thank you. So everyone remembers what it's like to get their license, right? You pass the test, wait in this excruciatingly long line, and then they ask you all of your usual information, but they ask you one question at the end of it that's different. Do you want to be a donor? Has this question ever made anybody wonder? Well, being in the science field, I study a lot of different initiatives and a lot of different instruments that they use for medical research. One of these being human cadavers. So today we're here to talk about not only what a cadaver is, but also a little bit of the history and mainly what their medical benefits and uses are here in the real world. So to start off, Medicine Net, they have the definition as a cadaver as being a dead body. Just a dead body used for research, whether it be scientifically or by physicians themselves. So these cadavers are used for the study of anatomy, to identify where a disease site has happened at, and also by coroners or by physicians to identify how a person has died. Now, according to PubMed, human dissection has been going on for a very, very long time. We're talking about 3rd century time here. So one of the first physicians, he's considered to be the father of anatomy. His name is Herophilius. He is one of the greatest Greek physicians of all time. Him and his contemporary, I get this wrong every time, Eurystrates, was two of the only physicians until their death to have performed human dissection. And they actually performed it on 600 convicts at that time. So if you got in trouble, you were getting performed human dissection for research. Now, Research for Life is a informational website, but it's also a donation website where people go to donate their whole body when they die. They have human dissection information. It lets you know that back during the Renaissance time, after Herophilius and his contemporary had died, they actually prohibited the human dissection. For 1700 years, no researchers, no physicians, no one was ever able to do a human dissection again. You would be considered to die, like they'd kill you if you got caught doing that. So fast forward to 1315, which is around the time when Alexandria was actually getting burned, to give you a little bit of information of how long ago that really was. The first public human dissection actually happened at the University of Bologna by another Greek physicians named Vesalius. He is the only physician of that time that could actually go 1-on-1 with Herophilius. And then fast forward to the United States in 1832, because the United States was also doing human dissection, they passed the Anatomy Act. So what this act is stating pretty much any unclaimed body could be used for medical research. So they could take your body from the grave and put you on a table and dissect you. Now, because of all the unethical qualities about that, it became this negative stigmatism. Grave robbing was a big thing back then, so they, about 100 years later, decided to kind of add a clause in there that protected the bodies that they were getting and also the families of those bodies. So, a little bit about the history is very unique. You go way back in time. You learn a lot about Greek philosophy at the same time as you're learning about anatomy. It's pretty awesome. Jose Lopez did an article in Science Direct on the whole history of human dissection. Unfortunately, according to him, from the Renaissance all the way to modern days, the cadaver dissection had transformed not only from being a traditional use of research, but also a tool for physicians and medical students to be able to firsthand learn what exactly they're doing. And unfortunately, that source of research or that tool to be able to get that hands-on training is no longer widely used around the globe. So now they're trying to use more of 3D opticals on a computer rather than that hands-on technique, and there's a huge debate going on as to whether they should actually go virtual on it or not. So Mary Roach wrote a book, it's called Stiff, The Life of a Cadaver, and she actually goes into not only the history but the debate itself. But what I really like about this book is she gets into all of the different uses and the benefits of a cadaver itself. So what most people don't know is the US Army back in the day were actually using cadavers to test military weapons and see exactly what the impact was against human bodies. Now, most people would be like, oh, that's horrible, don't treat people that way. But at the end of the day, it actually saved tons of lives when they were going into combat because they already knew how their weapons would impact their bodies. Another interesting thing that she talks about is how 80% of cadavers that are donated are actually used for medical research. So like I was stating, that there are first-year medical students, physicians, surgeons, they all use these cadavers to get that hands-on training. But we also have people that did a study. So those seat belts that everybody has to wear when we go into the cars, cadavers actually helped win a case on mandatory seat belts. So 85,000 lives every year are saved off of that research done with cadavers. It's really fascinating, awesome. Then you have the body farm. One of my most favorite things in the cadaver research is the body farm. The University of Tennessee has the Center of Anthropology. They have the biggest acres dedicated to cadavers, the decaying of different bodies within different sites. They use it so that criminal investigators, crime scene investigators can come and get that hands-on training, see what the decaying sites is like, what is around the body at different times of death, what it smells like, what the skin looks like. It's really fascinating. And they would not be able to get this hands-on training with that if we didn't have the cadavers at that facility. They use 50 of them at one time. At any given time, you'll see 50 dead bodies scattered all over this one area. And we wouldn't be able to get that training that we need to be able to go onto these crime scenes and identify these source of information that we need if we didn't have that use. So we've just discussed a little bit about the history, what a cadaver is, and some of the benefits. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you guys enjoyed the information. And next time they ask you about being a donor, I hope you know exactly what to think. Mark yes or no. Here is my audience. I don't know if I'm getting everybody. There we go. Thank you.